All right, so I did it. I did the Barbenheimer thing. I saw both of these movies today, or technically yesterday, because coming out on Wednesday. I saw them on a Tuesday. So yeah, let me discuss both of these movies because like you can't have one without the other, right? Like these movies have nothing in common. They are on very different sides of the spectrums, saying and doing completely different things. But it is, the double feature of the decade. It is the one of the most popular things trending right now. And like, of course, I'm going to comment on it. Of course, I'm going to review these movies. I was so excited. I haven't been this excited to see a movie, like I think since Batman. Honestly, if I'm recalling correctly, like I guess that's not like a while, but like for me and as many new releases as I do watch, it's been a while since I've been this excited to see two movies. And yeah, so I saw Oppenheimer first, so I think I will talk about that one first. Let's get this out of the way, rip the Band-Aid right off. I'm not a Christopher Nolan fan. I respect him, and I respect some of his movies, most of his movies, but I don't know. I don't really like his overly serious and convoluted style. I think he is very much up his own ass about a lot of things. And like, this is not commenting on him as like a person. This is more like him as a director and his, like artistic voice, I guess. He's very pretentious, and like I reviewed Tenet when it first came out, and I loved it. It does not hold up very well. Like the performances are really good in that movie, and the visuals are great, but like from a storytelling perspective, wow, it is a giant mess, and it's hard to come back to. And like that's the kind of the issue with his movies is like they're really cool and great the first time when you don't understand what's happening and like are taking in information, but on a rewatch they're nothing special, and like they're just very hollow movies. Like Inception, it's good, but like it's not that good. Like it's not on that level. Like The Dark Knight is really good, but I really don't understand why people put it on this pedestal. Like it's a good movie, but it's just a good movie. If that makes any sense. The only movies I really feel kind of take me out of that feeling is Dunkirk and come on, Memento. I think those two movies are his least pretentious and his least like self-indulgent, even though they are very self-indulgent and kind of pretentious. To me, they work the best, just because of how unique Memento really is and how much it actually does work with its uniqueness and how thrilling and heart-pumping Dunkirk is, and like that's probably my favorite of his movies. So, with all that out of the way, I genuinely thought I wouldn't like Oppenheimer. It's been built up for at least 2 years now. I think I remember first hearing about this. Like, there were rumblings of this almost immediately after Tenet. So, yeah, there was a lot of hype behind Oppenheimer, obviously, because of the humongous cast. And, like, it's going to be a 3-hour epic and all of this stuff. And I was just like, oh, God, I don't think I can do it. Christopher Nolan kind of lost me. I don't know what it is. I don't think I could do the 3-hour long war epic bullshit thing. But then more trailers started to come out. I remembered how much I love Cillian Murphy, and I started to warm up to the idea of this movie. And then I started seeing the reviews for it, and across the board, everybody loves it. Even people who don't normally like Christopher Nolan were liking it. So I'm like, okay, I'm excited. And thank God, this movie is fantastic. I genuinely think this is his best movie, and I think this will go down as one of the best movies of this decade. It's phenomenal. Like, through and through, it is absolutely perfect, and I think it's because Christopher Nolan took himself out of it. What I think he did is used his strengths as a filmmaker, and I think he used that to tell a story about a very flawed and distinct person. I think that the way the events were told, because obviously they were told out of order because it's fucking Christopher Nolan, but I think it worked. I think getting different bits and pieces of his life scattered throughout the movie, but also still telling a very linear and like it all really worked for me. And God, the performances in this are fantastic. I was really worried that Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy, would just be Cillian Murphy doing a character. That's always my biggest fear with like movies that have this kind of casting. But no, I felt like he really lost himself inside this character and, excuse me, used his strengths as a phenomenal actor, and I don't know, really disappeared into this role. And I thought the script was absolutely airtight. It was perfect. The dialogue was obviously very quippy, but it felt in a way that wasn't, again, overly indulgent. Like, it doesn't make sense how this movie isn't overly indulgent, but it isn't. It's very subtle in the way that it's telling its story, especially visually, with the way the bomb went off and, like, the different shots used all throughout the movie, and like the meticulous way we are given details about Oppenheimer's life so we can build up an opinion on him, where we stand in this entire issue. RDJ is great in this movie. There's so many actors, so it was like, oh, it's that guy, oh, it's that guy. A few that I would like to like really highlight is David Krumholtz. He was phenomenal in this movie. I really liked him. And Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt was really good in this movie as well. So, for me, Oppenheimer is the pinnacle of Christopher Nolan. Like, this is the best it can get. And, I don't know, just it's an achievement, really, on every level. Like, this, I almost was floored by Oppenheimer. I thought it was phenomenal, begrudgingly so. So, yeah, I'm going to give Oppenheimer a pretty strong A+. Like, this was, it was a perfect movie. It's not my favorite movie of the year. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't call it, like, no, not even that. I really don't have any complaints about Oppenheimer. It was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. So, that leaves us with Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig, a movie that has been theorized and talked about for, I think it's over a decade now, is finally here. And it's so weird that this movie is, like, out. Does that make any sense? Like, it was so much like an idea for, I think, everyone, not especially me, but like for myself, it felt more like a thing that was going to happen. Like, oh, we're gonna see Barbie. Oh, Barbie's gonna come out soon. And I don't know, it felt like this unattainable thing that like didn't feel real. But then we started seeing trailers and knew who was going to be in the movie, knew who was going to be behind the movie, and it's finally here. Like it is July 21st for me, 25th. And it's here. That's just shocking to me. And even more shocking is how great it was. This movie had gotten even more like wildly positive reviews. Everybody who's seen it has loved it. But I have seen a few dissenting opinions that I very much disagree with. I'm not going to really get into that because I don't really like, picking fights or guess. There's a couple of movie reviews that I saw of it after seeing this. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And like a lot of it is really internalized misogyny and all that crap. Because this movie very much isn't for people who are going to see Oppenheimer. It is very much saying a very different thing. But my belief with this movie is that it is for everyone. This movie is talking to all of humanity and like gender roles and all that good stuff. There is a lot of satiricalness in this movie that I thought was written in very well by Greta Gerwig, and I think Noah Baumbach helped to write this movie. I'm not really sure. I could be wrong on that, but I'm like pretty sure. Greta Gerwig also, I thought, was the perfect voice to kind of channel this movie through. Like, I feel like with another director, a lot of this movie could have come off really annoying and surface level. And I will admit, my only gripe with this thing is that it can go for humor that is very surface level. Like, especially towards the beginning, I felt it was very messy and very kind of, I don't know, too in on its own joke. Like there were too many like meta jokes that just felt very like first takes, if that makes any sense. Like they were the first thing they thought of a line. And I feel like if they revised this script maybe like one or two times, especially in the first act, it would have been flawless. But like that's that doesn't really matter for me, at least. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't ruin the movie, because this movie's great. Margot Robbie, she very much has to, get the crowning achievement, I guess, for this movie. She was phenomenal. She embodied the role in a way that I didn't think she would. I thought she played it very uniquely, and just like how like innocent she was, and like how just I guess not like naive, but how the way she looked at the world, it just was very entertaining to watch. And she was I thought she balanced between like all of these emotions that Barbie is feeling in the movie very, very well. I thought she was like, it couldn't have been anybody but Margot Robbie. In the same way that Ken couldn't have been anybody but Ryan Gosling, I thought he was hilarious. I loved the Ken song that was in the movie, and just like most of his jokes really landed for me. I thought he was really, really funny. And honestly, once the movie hit its groove, a lot of the jokes were landing. I thought the dialogue and a lot of it was really sharp. Will Ferrell was actually pretty funny for once. I can't even remember the last time that you can say that about him in like a new movie. Kate McKinnon was okay. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but she was fine. But like there's so much in it to like unpack with this movie, I guess, as well. It's just there's a lot of satire and a lot of like heavy theming that I guess I don't have time to talk about. I'm running. Just saw the video runtime here, but it handled all of it very gracefully, and I think it was never too ham-fisted. Like it brought it up to that level of being like very absurdist and very satirical, but it never crossed the line of being like, okay, this is very heavy-handed. I get it. That never happened for me. I thought the mother-daughter relationship in it was pretty good. They weren't like my favorite characters, but they were a nice addition to the cast. I thought visually it was really, really good. And it just was a very it was like the best feel-good movie I've seen in a really long time. It like tapped into a sense of like childhood that I hadn't thought about in a really long time. The character of Alan, I absolutely loved Alan. He was definitely a major highlight of this movie. But like, the main thing is about, like femininity and what it's like to be a woman nowadays. And obviously, I have no idea what that is like. I'm not going to pretend I know. I have any idea what that is like. But from talking to Cam and my other friend who was there, they both very much connected with it and felt like it spoke to them. So I'm very happy that it relayed that message well, and it can be that important for other people. Like, I can't really necessarily relate to this, and I know this movie is not really for me in particular, because I'm a dude, but I'm very glad that it can be that cultural impact for a lot of women. I think that's a really great thing. And I don't know, this movie, it just is very hard to hate. It gets a lot right, and it's smart. It's very emotional at times. It's very well performed. It's very fun. I don't know, I really, really loved Barbie. Besides my little gripes with some of the writing and some of the earlier scenes, and Kate McKinnon, this movie really worked. I really loved Barbie, and I'm going to give it a really strong A. So, Barbenheimer did not disappoint. I was very, very happy, and it's also really great that we got two really phenomenal movies, one after the other. I thought they were both fantastic, and will definitely be making appearances on my Best of the Year list. I can almost guarantee it. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know where you sit on the Barbenheimer debate. I'm not really picking a side. Like, obviously, I liked Oppenheimer like a little bit more, but they're both great. I'm not going to really pick a side here. So, but tell me how you feel about the movie. Please let me know in the comments. And if you like what you saw here, subscribe. Do all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll have more reviews coming out this week. And other than that, I will see you guys later.